like the funk. I like the funk a lot. Yo, what's up, everyone? This is Dirty Dan Gaming, and today we're gonna do our first video. Thank you to my friend Turtle and some others in my alliance who kind of pushed me to do this. I do thank you, because I was procrastinating this for a very long time. So today, just want to go over these new commanders that we just got. These two new infantry commanders. First is going to be Chuck Jung, which you can find on the Wheel of Fortune. Infantry versatility attack. So he's going to be very similar to Alex in terms of, I guess, kind of play style a little bit. One thing that we can see from attack commanders that differentiate them from skill commanders is that they do have a little bit more tank to them, just from, you know, pure talent points alone. And obviously he's infantry, so he's going to be a little bit more tanky in general. Anyways, let's jump into the skills. I want to try and do this video a little bit quick because I do have a tendency to ramble, so we'll try and get through this quickly. First skill is going to be Courageous. Active skill. Deals direct damage factor 1700 to the target. If the target has been reduced to 30% or less units remaining, deals an additional damage of 300. Pretty solid skill. Definitely more of an open field skill. You're going to be getting more of that usability from the second part in the open field as opposed to rally situations. Second skill, Move on. Passive skill. Infantry units led by this commander gain 40% increased attack. They deal 5% increased damage against cavalry, but take 5% more damage from archers. Very standard what we've been seeing in terms of attack increases for passive skills. We've seen usually 40% around the board. And then we are starting to see more of this troop type damage buffs that we're getting. So yeah, let's move on to the next skill. Stalwart. This skill I like. This skill is very good. So while on the map, troops led by this commander have a 40% chance to take 50% less skill damage. This damage reduction effect can trigger once every 4 seconds. So, you know, we obviously see this with Ramses, we see it with Saladin. His damage taken reduction is going to be a little bit higher because you do need to have that chance to proc, but I'll still take 50% damage reduction anyway, in any scenario, open field or you know, while in a rally. Fourth skill, Sacrifice. This is a passive skill as well. If troops led by this commander consist of only infantry units, they gain 15% march speed with a 100% chance of dealing 5% increased skill damage for 8 seconds when attacking. This effect can trigger once every 4 seconds and can be stacked up to 8 times. You're looking at, if you get lucky, you're looking at 40% additional skill damage bonus that you're getting. This is awesome. This is very close to YSG. I think YSG is 50%. Again, you have to get pretty lucky with it, but I mean, when you hit that 50% or the however much it is, 40%, yeah, so you're just short of what YSG does. Granted, he does that all the time, but what I think this is, I mean, and anytime you have these chances and these stacks, they always seem to do a little bit better in those rally scenarios, again, because you're having a prolonged battle over time for more chances to this to happen. So not the greatest open field skill, although it can help you in those times. I just think that you're going to see more frequency and more benefit coming from this in a rally situation. Very good skill. You have your now infantry mini YSG version. Very cool. Lastly, Vow to the Death. this is an enhancement. While on the map, troops led by this commander have a 40% chance to get incoming skill damage reduced by 50% and deal skill damage to up to 3 enemy targets in a fan-shaped area. Damage factor, number of stacks of skill damage bonuses from sacrifice skill times 50. So 8 stacks times the 50 damage factor. So you're getting 400 damage factor to the target. And of course, as with most AoEs, damage from the stack is reduced by 50% per additional target. This ability can trigger once every 3 seconds. Some very nice burst damage that we're going to be seeing here. I think that's very similar to Nebu. Nebu has some really nice burst damage that comes out, as well as XY. XY has some very nice burst damage when rallying cities and strongholds. And this one is just, you just have to be on the map. You have to be rallying or open fielding. So there's really not many, there's not this big condition that needs to be happening. You just simply need to be on the map to play. Overall, I think this guy is really good. Especially, like I said, for those prolonged battles. I think you're going to see some nice trades in the open field, but I think you're really going to see him shine in rally scenarios, and we're going to have to see how we're going to play it out. Do we want to go full, kind of that glass cannon approach by pairing him with a Guan or pairing him with Herald, or maybe take a little bit more of that mid ground and try and shoot for more of that normal attack damage and make him like a mini Attila with Alex? Because I think with Alex you're going to get 40% base attack and then 40% attack when his shield is when that shield is not active. So until that skill pops off, you're doing 100. You have a 120% increase on your attack stat, which is very nice. So all around, I think this commander is very good. Looks very good on paper. Again, we're gonna have to see how they play out with actual reports and some pairing. I'm not an infantry player, so I will not be going for CJG, unfortunately, but I know a lot of my good friends and alliance mates are infantry players, and they'll be sure to share those juicy reports when we get them. Next, Pakal, the first conquering and defense commander that we have in Rise of Kingdoms. As soon as I saw this, I thought he was going to be very good. I think he took an initial debuff already from the posts that were put out by Lilith to the Instagram and their Facebook pages. There was some small adjustments to his skills, which put me at ease a little bit, because there was a lot of a lot of damage buffs that were coming from him. And for being a defense commander, although conquering, but for being a defense commander, it was kind of throwing me off a little bit to see him getting that much damage buffs. However, he's going to be an interesting commander nonetheless because of the conquering and defense tree. You can use him primary, you can use him secondary, and we'll see. And thank you in advance to the mega whales who are going to go all out in their MGEs, who are probably already in KVKs and need this commander to try and get that potential YSS breaker. And quick sidebar, YSS is the key to these garrisons. I think it's kind of common sense, because you have your Zenobia YSS and Jadwiga YSS, and I'm calling it now that the next Archer commanders are going to come out. I think we're going to have our new all-around garrison meta with an Archer commander. I think they're due for a really beastly garrison, and just continue that nice trend that we've been getting with some really solid Archer commanders that players can use. It's really nice and refreshing to see viable Archer commanders and seeing more and more Archer players coming to the forefront. And especially for me, being a Cav player, I eat those guys up. All right, so that was the sidebar. YSS, I think, is the key, and I'm going to call Pakal as being the YSS breaker, especially with the Jadwiga, because of the debuff that she takes on herself from fighting infantry. So let's jump into his skills of Pakal. First skill, active skill, of course, balance strategy, deals skill damage to the current target of 1300, and troops led by this commander gain a shield for 3 seconds, which can absorb a large amount of damage factor 500. Being a defense commander, I would expect the shield to be a little bit bigger. Just alone, Alex's shield that he provides to alliance mates is 600. That's already bigger than this shield, and the active skills are generally supposed to be the best ones, since we also obviously have that rule of thumb is you always max the first skill first. So in all honesty, this first skill is a little underwhelming for me, both for the damage factor that it's dealing and the damage factor that the shield is absorbing. But there are some other components to this commander where I think is going to, you know, lead him into that new rally meta. Second skill, Ruler of Palenque. Infantry units led by this commander gain 30% increased health and 15% increased march. This commander launches a rally attack, all damage dealt is increased by 5%. Last part is pretty standard. What we've been seeing with conquering commanders is that they're getting a straight up damage increase of usually around 5%. What I love about this is the health bonus, because I don't think we've seen a health bonus as high as this since Constantine. Constantine, I think, is a 40%, and we all know how tanky Constantine can be, and that's not even you know, Constantine's a support commander. 30% health bonus on a defense commander is a little crazy. This instantly makes him viable in open field, whether you want to use him, you know, with a support march behind him, or putting like an Alex or even CJG with him to give that extra tankiness, which is what players need nowadays in Season of Conquest KVKs, because there's so many attack and damage buffs that you're getting. The only defense and health, the additional defense and health that you're getting is from skills and from equipment and runes. There's so much base attack and damage that Lilith is giving us. You really want to try and make those marches that you're putting out into the field as tanky as possible. Otherwise, you're just going to get chewed up and you're going to get some really, you know, fat hospital builds. So love the skill. Love it a lot. Next skill, Divine Sovereignty. When attacking strongholds or cities, infantry led by this commander gain 40% increased attack and have a 20% chance of dispelling any currently active slow, poison, exhaust, and other weakening effects. This skill can trigger once every 10 seconds. So again, I mean, we got the tankiness aspect of him, right? He's a defense commander. We got the tankiness. I understand he's conquering, but why is a conquering commander getting 40%? I mean, why is the defense commander getting 40% worth of attack stats? It doesn't make sense. If anything, make that another, don't make it damage, but I don't know. I'm torn between it. I understand he needs some kind of, you know, conquering aspect to him, which, I mean, he gets in his second skill. A 40% attack on a defense commander, just, it seems off to me. It bugs me a little bit. Not that it's affecting the gameplay, because like I just said, you rather want those tanky marches anyway. So I think maybe if we add in more tankiness to him, and we'll see even more tankiness on his next skill, then it would have been a little OP. But maybe the attack is okay, but it just irks me a little bit that a defense commander is getting 40% attack. It's just weird. What I'm very curious about too is this weakening effects. And we'll just slide up real quick to see Zeno, because she gives a damage bonus. All troops led. So I guess this is considered a buff and not a debuff. So all troops led by this commander deal 2% more damage. Deal 2% more damage to rally troops. So is this considered a debuff to the rally troops, or is it considered a buff to the troops? I guess it's a buff to the troops. I don't know. But what I'm trying to get at here is if this, because it says other weakening effects, because, and you get a little description here, is normal debuffs weaken the targeted troop by reducing their attack, defense, and or health, or things like weakening their healing effects. So I guess it gives it to us there. If that were to dispel, you know, damage debuffs that you're taking upon the rally, that would have been massive. Because one of the things that makes Zeno and YSS really shine is the damage increases that they're obtaining. And I'm gonna probably do another video on that. I'm gonna do a video on the YSS and the whole garrison thing, and just point out some of the things of why I think that those combinations and those things work so well with each other. So if this were to get rid of those damage increases, that would be huge. So we'll have to wait and see if that is the case, and if, you know, these are even, you know, if they're debuffs to the rally or if they're just buffs to the troops in the garrison. We'll see. Next skill, reduces all damage taken by 10%. We see this with Richard. I think Richard's is 15%. So we're seeing a little bit of a Richard flare here. Next, we're going to see a little bit of an XY flare. While on the map, so this is rally and open field. This is not going to have any effect when you're in the garrison. So while you're on the map, reduces all damage taken when surrounded. Bonus reduction is equal to the number of surrounding enemies times 5%. The number of surrounding enemies that can be factored into this bonus damage calculation has an upper limit of 6. So you're getting an upper limit of 30% all damage taken reduction. This is very similar to what we have in XY, but he's giving half damage bonus. You can see here, while on the map, after Zhang uses active skill, his troops will gain a stack of cavalry damage and march speed for 10 seconds. Another stack is gained if they are being surrounded. This effect can stack up to 6 times. So you can get upwards or a maximum of 30% cavalry damage if he's surrounded. Very same with Pakal. So this is their anti-swarm capabilities here. So we're seeing Lilith implement a lot now, especially with the rallies. We've seen, I think we're on Gen 4 commanders. We saw the really first anti-swarm capabilities with Attila Takeda. Saw Gen 2 commanders didn't have any of that. Edwards, Hans, Saladin maybe a little bit. There was no really anti-swarm technology that any of these commanders had. I think the best that you had was Charles Martel, and those really showed in KVK2. If you swarmed in Alex Charles rally, it was going to hurt a little bit. So now they're giving players reasons not to swarm rallies, because I mean, the KVK2, honestly, that's all we did. We never launched a single counter rally, and the KVK2 that I played, maybe a few counter rallies, but any rally that ever came towards us, just swarm it down. 5 or 10 T5 players just swarming a rally, easy. So these are giving players warnings not to swarm, because you really don't want the rally, and especially if, I mean, we're talking about 30% damage taken reduction. Imagine you have a Guan Yu cranking out all that skill damage, and now you decide to swarm him, and he's getting 30% damage reduction. He's just eating all that damage that the garrison's trying to throw at it, and he's just saying nope, and then just let me, you know, swipe my long sword axe spear thingy and deal massive damage to you while you're taking 30% less damage. It's insane. So this is a very good skill. You can see where the defense at play is. The defense aspect of this commander is coming into play now. We're gonna speed this up. We're almost done. 20-minute video. Last skill is going to be Mayan Strength. This is a new skill, passive skill. Troops led by this commander deal 20% increased counterattack damage, a la Charles Martel, and take 5% less damage from all sources for 3 seconds after using an active skill. This effect can trigger at most once every 5 seconds. So you're getting, you're getting, this is what makes him kind of like a, you're getting those pieces of Charles and Richard all together. So with his expertise and this skill combined, you're getting that 15% that Richard gives you. That 15% that Richard gives you. Yep. Damage taken reduced by 15%. And you're getting the 20% counter, or Charles 30%. I thought it was 20%. You're getting a 20% counterattack damage bonus. So again, more things that are telling you like, don't swarm me. Not only am I going to be taking reduced damage, but I'm going to be giving you 20% increased counterattack damage. I like this commander a lot. I think he's going to change the rally meta a little bit. I think that you're going to be able to see, especially against Yadviga YSS. Like if you, for, you know, I'm a cap player, I was looking into doing Yadviga. I think I'm gonna, you know, go a different direction. But if you have a cav garrison set up and you see any kind of rally coming at you with Pakal, try and flip that rally out, get that rally, you know, swapped over to a Zeno YSS, or, you know, even an Artemisia YSS. I'm really surprised that we don't see more of those. I think it's just because Zeno is so dominant in what it has become. You know, I'm really surprised we don't see more Artemisia YSSs. But yeah, if you're a cav garrison and you see a Pakal coming towards you, just get out of it. Especially, you know, with the CJG. I think they're going to go together. I think you're going to see that these guys are going to go together. I think CJG might also do some really cool things with Guan. Obviously, Guan's going to have to be primary for that. We'll see. I mean, these guys look like really good on paper. I think if you're an infantry player, they're must-haves. I think you eventually need to add these guys in there at some point. Yeah, look really good on paper. We're gonna see in a week or so, once some of these guys start, in 2 weeks, once you know, CJG comes and Pakal is on Mightiest Governor, and you know, some players win him, we're gonna see some really nice rally reports coming soon, because there's plenty of people in KVKs right now, and we're gonna see some people instamax these commanders and put them to use. So let's all stay tuned. I think these guys look really good. These guys get the dirty stamp of approval. Infantry players, go get them. With that, that's all I got. First video in the books. Peace, y'all.